Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so today we're taking on what is pretty much universally considered the ultimate boss battle of language testing, IELTS Reading Passage 3. If you've ever taken a practice test, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? It's incredibly dense, the topics are complex, and honestly, it sometimes feels like it was engineered in a lab just to push your brain to its absolute limits. But don't worry, because today we are going to systematically dismantle this thing. We're going to take all that overwhelming chaos and turn it into a highly precise, step-by-step workflow. By the end of this, you'll be navigating this final reading passage like an absolute pro.
So before we get into the actual tactics, we really need to talk about the immediate stakes, 20. You have a strict budget of exactly 20 minutes to conquer this section. And remember, when you finally hit passage 3, your brain is already exhausted from the first two sections, and that clock is ticking loudly in the background. Every single second matters here. This isn't just a test of your English comprehension, it's a high-stakes game of extreme time management. And to beat that clock, well, you need an ultimate weapon. We've distilled the absolute best tactics into this master strategy blueprint you see here. Now, at first glance, yeah, it might look like just 8 disconnected tips, but throughout this explainer, we're going to connect those dots. We'll break down these individual techniques and fuse them together into one cohesive, highly practical game plan that's going to completely change how you approach the test.
Here's a quick look at our roadmap. We are covering conquering passage 3, reconnaissance, blueprinting, the hunt, avoiding traps, and finally, wrapping it all up with the ultimate attack order. Let's jump right in.
Section 1. Conquering IELTS Passage 3.
Why exactly does Passage 3 strike so much fear into test takers? Well, it isn't just the advanced academic vocabulary. The biggest hurdle is time. Mathematically, it breaks down like this. You get 90 seconds to skim the passage and 30 seconds to analyze the typical 13 or so questions. That leaves you with roughly 60 seconds, just 1 minute, to answer each individual question. And you absolutely must reserve 2 minutes at the end strictly for transferring your answers. Here is a crucial rule for you. Skip and flag if you get stuck. Moving on isn't a failure, it's a tactical necessity to protect your budget. You can always loop back at the end.
Section 2, Reconnaissance, Questions, and Skimming. Okay, so before you ever dive into reading that dense, intimidating text, seriously, do not just start reading word for word. That's a huge trap. You actually need to start with the questions. Read the questions first, look at them, and underline the key nouns and verbs. Take a quick second to note the question type 2. Is it true, false, not given, a matching exercise, multiple choice? By underlining those key nouns and verbs, you're literally giving your brain specific targets. You'll know exactly what to hunt for when you eventually scan the text. Once your targets are locked in, it's time for the 90-second skim. Notice I said just 90 seconds. You are not reading for deep comprehension right now. Read only the title, the subtitle, the very first sentence of each paragraph, and the entire last paragraph because that last one is almost always a summary. That's the whole shebang. The only goal here is to build a quick mental map of where certain types of information live before you actually start trying to answer anything. Section 3. Blueprinting, Mapping, and Matching.
Now, we take that quick reconnaissance we just did and turn it into a super reliable blueprint. We call this paragraph mapping. During or right after your skim, you need to be labeling each paragraph in the margins with just a tiny 2 to 3 word topic note. Keep it simple, tags like causes, counterarg, or solution. Writing these margin notes is absolutely game-changing. The data shows it can actually help you find your answers 3 times faster when you start scanning. It's a tiny investment of time up front for a massive payoff in speed later.
But listen closely, you have to be super careful with how you match the questions to your map. Passage 3 relies on heavy paraphrasing. They will never repeat the question wording verbatim in the passage. If the question uses the word buy, the passage is almost certainly going to use a synonym like purchase or acquire. Match by synonyms. The only things you can really trust to be exact are proper nouns, numbers, and dates. Those are your exact anchors. Never waste your precious time looking for a word-for-word copy of a whole sentence. It just won't be there.
Section 4. The Hunt, Targeted Scanning.
All right, so we have our map, we know our targets, and now we enter the execution phase. It's time to finally hunt down those answers with precision. This is where your prep pays off through targeted scanning. Because you mapped out the paragraphs, you don't need to start at the top of the article every time. You go straight to the specific paragraph your map points to. Once you're there, just let your eyes sweep over the text looking for visual beacons, things like capital letters, numbers, and bold text. Trust your map, and please, don't restart the journey from the beginning of the text for every question.
To boost your speed even further, you've got to know about the answer order rule.
Honestly, it's practically magical. For most question types, the answers will appear in the text in the exact same order as the questions. So question 2's answer will come after question 1's answer in the passage. This naturally narrows down your search zone as you work your way through. But, and this is a big but, there is a major exception. Heading matching questions can be in any order. For everything else, though, that chronological flow is your best friend.
Section 5. Avoiding the deadliest traps.
Look, Passage 3 is famous for laying down clever traps designed to completely drain your time and steal your points. We have to be hyper-vigilant here. Watch out especially for partial matches in multiple choice. This is where, say, half of an answer option is perfectly correct, but a single sneaky word at the end makes the whole statement invalid. It's almost correct, but not fully supported. Also, never make assumptions based on your own outside knowledge. The answer must be explicitly stated in the text, not just implied. If it is not written down on that page, it does not exist.
I want to slow down dramatically right here, because understanding the difference between false and not given is arguably one of the most vital distinctions in the entire IELTS test. If a statement is false, it means the text actively fights the claim. It provides direct evidence that contradicts it. If a statement is not given, it means the text is simply silent on the matter. The specific claim is completely absent, even if the general topic is mentioned. Do not confuse the two. It's a classic trap.
To help you navigate these different traps, here's a handy, quick reference matrix for those typical questions you'll face. Notice the order column on the right side. True, false, not given, sentence completion, and multiple choice all follow the passage order. Heading matching? That's a hard no. As for your strategies, true, false means matching claims to facts. Matching headings requires finding the topic sentence. Sentence completion means scanning for your keyword plus the surrounding context. And for multiple choice, always eliminate those obvious distractors first. Take a mental snapshot of this table right now. It's going to save you so much time.
Section 6. The ultimate attack order.
And here we are at the grand finale. This is where we consolidate every single tactic we've talked about into one unstoppable, step-by-step workflow. This is the clean, 5-part recommended attack order that you absolutely need to memorize. Step 1. Read the questions and underline your targets. Step 2. Do a 90-second skim of the passage. Step 3. Map the paragraphs with 2 to 3 word margin notes. Step 4. Do a targeted scan for each question using your map and the answer order rule. And finally, Step 5. Leave time to check and transfer your answers. This is it. This is your definitive blueprint for success.
I'll leave you with this final thought today. Think about your current process and ask yourself, if you apply this exact structured attack order to your very next practice test, how much of that 20-minute budget could you save? Try it out, time yourself, and just watch your accuracy and speed climb. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and good luck totally conquering your next reading passage. You've got this.